On his 50th birthday, Robert was publicly humiliated by his ex-wife and sons. But what started as a cruel joke turned into a calculated revenge they never saw coming. On my 50th birthday, my 3 kids gave a surprise presentation. Not the nostalgic kind. No. It was a narrated highlight reel of my failures, as a husband, a father, a man, voiced by none other than my ex-wife, Karen. She ended it by telling the guests, I left because he never satisfied me, in any way. Then my sons announced they were officially changing their last names. Laughter. From a room full of family and friends. I just sat there. Eventually, I stood up, thanked everyone for coming, and walked out. That was Saturday. It's Thursday now, and I still haven't processed it. I woke up this morning at 5 a.m. to a phone buzzing non-stop. Karen. My sons. Even my daughter-in-law. All calling, texting, messaging me like I'm the villain here. They need my signature for their name change paperwork. Let me back up. My name is Robert Matheson. I'm 50. Divorced for 8 years after a 19-year marriage. I have 3 sons, Jake, 29, Brandon, 26, and Eli, 23. Karen left me because I was boring. Her words. She moved on, married her personal trainer. I swallowed my pride for the boys, tried to stay in their lives. Sent birthday cards, paid tuition, bought sneakers, helped with down payments. I thought we were making progress when Jake called 3 weeks ago to say they wanted to throw me a party for the big 5-0. I actually believed maybe they wanted to reconnect. Dumb, I know. But I bought a new shirt. I let myself hope. The party was at a taproom owned by Brandon's friend. Around 30 people came, old neighbors, co-workers, a few cousins. Karen showed up, which in hindsight should have been a red flag. But I convinced myself she was being mature, for the boys' sake. At first, it was nice. Decent food, a couple beers, small talk. For once, I felt like maybe I wasn't the outsider. Maybe I was part of something again. Then came the presentation. The lights dimmed. A projector screen came down. Jake clinked his glass and announced they'd made a tribute video. I was expecting old pictures, childhood memories, something sentimental. Nope. What I got was a 20-minute documentary titled, The Downfall of Robert Matheson, A Lifetime of Letdowns. Narrated by Karen. With footage of every misstep I've ever made. From a failed camping trip to the time our car broke down. The deck I never finished. The job I didn't get. Then came the intimate stuff, Karen talking in detail about how I never pleased her, how she faked it for years. And people laughed. At me. On my birthday. The boys capped it off by announcing they were dropping my name and adopting Karen's maiden name. Jake actually said, we'd rather have no father than one who never showed up. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just left. I got in my car, drove home, and sat in silence until the sun came up. I've always been the reasonable one. The one who compromises. Who forgives. But something inside me broke that night. And when the calls started, asking for my signature, I knew I wasn't going to be that man anymore. Not for them. What they don't know is how much I've done behind the scenes. Jake. I've paid half his mortgage for 3 years. Quietly. Monthly transfers so he and his wife could live in a house they couldn't afford. Karen thought I only helped with the down payment. Brandon. Addicted to online betting. I've bailed him out 4 times, $8,000 last time. His fiancée doesn't even know. I still have the texts, the Venmo receipts marked, help. Eli. I've covered his tuition, his rent, groceries, because Karen forgot she'd promised to pay for school in the divorce. They think I'm weak. That I'll sign and move on like always. But not this time. I played the part first. Took their calls, voice all shaky, asking to understand where I went wrong. I asked for dinner, just the family. They suggested an overpriced Italian place. Of course they did. I picked up the tab like always. They sat there smug, explaining how the video was necessary. Brandon actually said, this was about healing. So I signed the papers. Right there. No fight. Told them I understood. Then I went home and cut every financial tie. Cancelled transfers. Blocked cards. Pulled tuition checks. And then I collected everything. Screenshots of Brandon's betting apps. Venmo receipts. Emails. I made a fresh email and sent them all, along with a note, to his fiancée. Subject line, before you marry him, please read. The fallout? Jake left 13 voicemails after his mortgage bounced. His wife's threatening to leave if they lose the house. Brandon is sleeping on couches. His fiancée called off the engagement. She posted a breakup quote on Instagram with a dozen red flag emojis. Eli. Can't register for classes. Sent an email to my boss calling me mentally unwell. My boss forwarded it to me with the subject line, seriously. Karen's blaming me. Says I'm destroying the family. Funny. I don't feel guilty. I feel free. And I wasn't done. I invited them all over for a family meeting. Told them I wanted peace, to move forward. Ordered all their favorite takeout. They showed up on time. I queued up their birthday video on my TV. Every insult. Every smirk. Karen's voice. Laughter. Then I handed out folders. One for each. Jake's. A record of every mortgage payment I'd made, $43,200. With a final note, no repayment expected, but no future help either. Brandon's. Gambling receipts. Program info for addiction recovery. Eli's. Tuition receipts and confirmation that I'd paid the final semester. That's it. No more. Karen's. Photos. Of her and her trainer. Dated 6 months before our divorce. The ones I didn't use in court because I didn't want to hurt the kids. Then I dropped the final bomb. I sold the house they all expected to inherit. Closed last week. Anne. I changed my name. Took my mother's maiden name. If they didn't want to be Mathesons anymore, neither did I. Jake stammered. Brandon claimed it was all a wake-up call. Eli cried. Karen reached for my hand. I pulled away. Told them they could finish lunch, but our business was done. I grabbed my coat and left. Told them to lock up. Where was I going? A lunch date. Her name's Audrey. She hikes. She listens. She's kind. And unlike my family, she doesn't treat me like I'm disposable. It's been quiet since then. One text from Eli, asking to talk. Maybe I will. But the rest? They wanted to erase me. So I gave them a clean slate. Just not the one they expected. I've got a Yellowstone trip planned for next month. First vacation in years. No plans. No expectations. Just peace. And next year? For my 51st birthday. I'm throwing myself a party. No projector required.